Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to the NoDQ.com predictions video for WWE Roadblock End of the Line this Sunday live on pay-per-view. I am being joined by the crew, good old JM, Jeff Meacham, as well as David Payne. David, how are you doing today?
Well, I'm still $1 million shy of being a millionaire, but I'm hanging in there, man. How you guys doing?
Money's not everything. How are you doing, Jeff?
As Diamond Dallas Page once told me, you know what? If I was doing any better, I'd have two of me just to handle it all.
There you go. All right, so I hope you guys are excited for this Sunday's pay-per-view. It is the final WWE pay-per-view of 2017. It is the second...
Because there's been 300 of them already.
I know, right? This is the second Roadblock pay-per-view in 1 year. How lucky are we to get two Roadblocks in 1 year?
That's true. It is. You're right. It came
so
after or
jazzed.
before WrestleMania last time. That was weird. Wow.
Yeah.
You're right. Two of them.
Yeah, lucky us. So anyways, we have 6 matches announced for this card. We actually have the pre-show match announced for once. I think this is going to be the final card, considering we do have a 30-minute match on this show. So this may be the final card. I'm trying to think if there are any other possible matches, but I don't think so, unless they just throw something together with the cruiserweights. They might add a second pre-show match. That's always a possibility. But let's go ahead and break down the card for this show. We have the pre-show match, the kickoff match, whatever you want to call it. Big Cass taking on Rusev. And of course, the storyline for this match was Enzo being trapped by Rusev and Lana, being set up to the hotel room where Rusev beat the crap out of Enzo, smashed him in the head with that, what was it?
The vase, the glass vase.
Yeah. And Cass coming to get revenge for his partner. So I'll start with you, David. What do you think about this storyline and this match?
Well, it's funny because it's almost they're starting the process of, well, let's see what they have individually, Enzo and Cass. Let's see what they can do on their own. And
right.
Although Cass is out there sort of as his backup or whatever, it's still like a one-on-one rivalry with Enzo. And so to me, it's kind of to see what he's got, I guess. But, I think he's one of the very best on the stick. And, I just hope that once he's over, once he gets over this rivalry with Rusev, that he'll move on to a little bit better things with his career, But I don't know. I actually I'm saying Rusev is going to beat him. I don't know. I think it's going to be, where, he'll get his few shots in, but ultimately Rusev's just going to squash him. I mean, that's my opinion. It's not what I want to see, but they got love for Rusev for some reason. They like to keep the guy relevant for some reason. I thought he was going to fade off in the sunset, but he's still around. So
yeah. What do you think, Jeff?
I think if Rusev was facing Enzo on Sunday, I think it'd be a clear-cut decision that Rusev would squash the little bug. The fact that it's Cass...
Cass is a big guy.
Intriguing.
He's a Vince guy.
That's true. It'll probably be a lot more evenly matched.
What's that?
It'll probably be a lot more evenly matched because he is a big guy.
Yeah, and Vince loves big, tall guys, as we know. So
yeah.
I would have to say it's going to be an even match, but I think they're going to have Rusev pick up the victory for now, but they're probably going to extend this another pay-per-view.
Yeah, well, the fact that it's just a pre-show match, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, and I feel maybe it should be a bigger deal than it is. Now, I'm wondering if Enzo's going to show up and get revenge. Now, I think they're going to do the 50-50 booking with this. I think Rusev's going to win one match and Cass will win another match. The question is, who will get the first win? I mean, I could see Rusev winning this, and then on Raw they have a rematch, and that's when Enzo shows up and Big Cass gets his win back. So I'll go ahead and agree with you guys. I'll say that Rusev wins, and then on Raw they'll book the rematch, and that's when Enzo will come back and cost Rusev the match, and then it'll be the 50-50 booking.
Well, they showed Enzo on the match graphic on Raw Monday night. They showed him on the bash, so he should be in Cass's corner in theory.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
and generally speaking, you're right. Vince McMahon likes his big guys. And in terms of what my favorite big guy is, I like Cass. To me, he's athletic. He's got a lot of upside. So, I mean, if you're going to push any big man as a babyface, it should be him. He's like a hot Kevin Nash right now, but more athletic.
Yeah, so we're all going with Rusev to win this. And like I said, I think Big Cass will get his win back at some point, probably on Raw, very soon. All right, next up we have the main card matches. Let's start off with the first one, which is Sami Zayn versus Braun Strowman. It is a 10-minute match. So we have a 30-minute match on this show and a 10-minute match on this show. And the whole storyline was that Mick Foley did not want Sami Zayn facing Braun Strowman because Strowman is just too dominant, and Foley does not want to see Sami Zayn's career end. And Foley went as far as to pretend that they were going to do a trade, Sami Zayn for Eva Marie, and as it turned out, it was just Mick Foley trying to get Sami Zayn worked up, and it worked. Sami Zayn got in Foley's face and demanded the match, damn it. And finally, Mick Foley agreed, and the whole storyline is, can Sami Zayn last 10 minutes with Braun Strowman? What do you think, David?
Yeah, they turned it into a David Goliath thing, but it was kind of a dick tease a little bit because I was hoping Sami Zayn would go to SmackDown. I always thought, now that his rivalry with Kevin Owens is over, that Sami Zayn probably would have had a little bit better fit in SmackDown, but that was just a tease. It didn't happen. And, it's funny because Sami Zayn's got to win at some point, right? But for some reason, man, they're really pushing Braun Strowman as this, this unstoppable guy. And I don't know if they want to stretch that out a little bit longer or not. Like, my gut says Sami Zayn's got to get a win. But maybe there's a part of me that says Braun Strowman's going to go out there, beat the living hell out of him. And then Mick Foley comes out and says, all right, that's enough. That's enough. Who knows? But I don't know. I think Braun Strowman's going to win. As much as I want to say Sami needs a win here, I don't know. I just don't see it.
Well, if it reaches the 10-minute time limit, I would think it would be
a
draw. I think it would be a draw, right? I mean, Jeff, what do you think about the idea of this match and the concept?
Well, it's my understanding it's similar to what they had back in the old school, the golden era, where, somebody needed the last 5 or 10 minutes with the champ or whatever, and they would get, an opportunity or whatever. So I think that as long as Sami endures the 10 minutes, it's a victory in and of itself.
Right, exactly.
So I think based on that stipulation alone, Sami will get his victory, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
He'll last the 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Zayn will last the 10 minutes, and he'll get the crap beat out of him for 10 minutes. Right. But he will survive.
Right.
And I'm assuming if it goes to 10 minutes, it's a draw. So I'm going with a draw as my prediction.
I still see Mick Foley coming out at some point. Maybe it goes into a draw and then Sami Zayn is pleading and begging for more time, and then Mick Foley comes out at some point. That's my guess.
Yeah, that could happen.
Speaking of Foley, David, you mentioned the phrase dick tease, if you will. Aaron, you mentioned this on Twitter. How big of a jerk was Foley being on Monday night? My goodness.
I know.
I've never seen Mick Foley be that much of a jerk.
I know. He was adding Rollins and Reigns to the New Day tag team match. I mean, that's another possible match. There's no New Day match on this card, so we could see them added to a match with Anderson and Gallows or some crap. But it would be weird just throwing together a New Day match after.
Dude, the New Day earned the night off and enjoying their historic celebration, man. Jesus Christ, what a Monday Night Raw they had.
Yeah, I know. But you have to wonder if it's going to be like Nikki Bella, where now New Day's going to immediately lose the titles since they just broke the record.
Oh, God,
yeah, I was kind of hoping that wouldn't happen because that would have just been lame, really, But
yeah. I think we've talked about this before. I think New Day should stay champions until Revival gets called up, and then Revival beats them.
That's a good one.
That's what I'm thinking, at least. All right, so Jeff and I. Jeff, you're going with a draw, right?
I'm going with Sami lasting the 10 minutes. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, well, I'm going with a draw. David, you're going with Strowman.
Yeah, I'll go with Strowman, but I still like the draw concept too. So
maybe Zayn will last like 9 minutes 30 seconds or something like that. We'll see. All right, next up we have a triple threat match for the WWE Cruiserweight title. We have Rich Swann defending against T.J. Perkins and the Brian Kendrick. I haven't been a huge fan of the title flip-flopping around like a hot potato. That's just my opinion on it, and I think Swann should definitely retain the title here. What do you think, David?
When I see the cruiserweights, what I see is they're not being patient, meaning WWE, enough, because I know sometimes the fans aren't on it really, and they're not into it, and now they're bringing them on 205, which is so the SmackDown audience can get familiar with them. But to change it 3 times already within what, a month and a half, 2 months. I mean, it is a little, precarious. I don't know what you do with it. I don't know if they're set on one guy yet.
Yeah, it's
I do
overkill.
like Rich Swann. Yeah, it is overkill. I do like Rich Swann, though, and I think he's probably the most over out of those 3. I don't know what it is about T.J. Perkins. The fans just aren't catching on, but I'm going to go with Kendrick cheating and winning it back somehow. That's what I'm going with.
I hope not. I really don't think they should do another title change. What do you think, Jeff?
Yeah, see, the thing about these prediction shows, Riff, is that, we have to go with what we think versus what we hope.
Right.
And I absolutely agree with David. There's going to be some sort of shenanigans on Kendrick's end, and I don't think that Swann should lose it. I think that there's, and keep in mind, Kendrick can pin TJ, or he can pin Swann. Any of the 3 can pin any of the 3. It doesn't have to. The Swann has to be. That's the thing. With the triple threat match, you don't have to be the champion involved in the decisions. So that throws off Swann's game a little bit. So I think that somehow Kendrick's going to pull off a fast one.
Yeah, I was just going to say that just added 1,000% cuteness to this video, which, considering it's the 3 of us, we desperately needed some cuteness in this video.
Yes.
But, all right, so, yeah, you're going with Kendrick. That's interesting. I mean...
I am.
I really hope that's not the case. I'm going to stick with Swann retaining... But, yeah, I mean, nothing would surprise me at this point if they switch the title again, which I think would be absolutely ridiculous, but whatever.
Considering how dominant the Cruiserweight champions were in WCW, the booking of the title now in WWE is really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Cruiserweights in WCW is what basically carried Nitro, and it's just, for some reason, it's just not there yet. It's not catching on with the casual fan yet, and the booking certainly isn't helping.
Which is not good.
Right. All right, next up, we have the 30-minute Iron Woman match for the WWE Women's Championship. Sasha Banks versus Charlotte. They had a video package on Raw to hype up the match. So the big question is, how many falls will there be in this match? That's the first question. And the second one is, will Charlotte keep her pay-per-view winning streak intact? Will she win back the title again from Sasha Banks? And the third question is, will that happen? Will Sasha Banks win back the title again on a future Raw? So what's going to happen here with this match? Are they going to just keep doing the same cycle? Or will Sasha Banks finally beat Charlotte on pay-per-view? David, what are your thoughts?
This is a tough one for me because now after the last few title changes, I have it in my mind that they're trying to make Charlotte Flair like Ric Flair and have a whole bunch of title reigns and say she's the 10-time champion. The only problem is instead of stretching it amongst a 30-year career, they're doing it all within this year.
Right.
I don't know, man. Personally, like we're going with Jeff's point earlier, if I were booking it myself, Charlotte's the most legit champion in the women's division by far. Okay, I would have her keep the belt all the way until WrestleMania. Have it drop it to Bayley or whoever your next one's going to be. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Sasha keeps winning it back, so there's something there. But like I said, my theory is, I think they just want to have the stats and be able to say, oh, yeah, Charlotte Flair is the umpteen-time women's champion. And so I'm going with Charlotte. Screw it.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that does seem like a good point. What do you think, Jeff?
It is a good point, but I don't know if I read this on No DQ, because I do read No DQ because I'm supposed to. I heard that it was going to be Sasha and Bayley at WrestleMania.
That's what I was under the impression.
I'm thinking that Sasha's going to retain here at Roadblock and become a dominant champion. They'll have Charlotte in the picture. They'll have Charlotte be around, but she'll be like on the B story with the women.
Right.
Now, I will say this. An Iron Man match can lead to different things happening. I personally think that they can go one of 2 ways with this. They can either have no falls until the very end,
right,
like they did with Shawn and Brad.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Or Sasha they go about halfway through and Sasha can get really frustrated and pull a heel move and like take Charlotte out with it. Or Charlotte get frustrated and pull a heel move and hit Sasha with a chair to get one fall from Sasha.
Yeah.
And then Charlotte just starts racking up the falls.
Right. That was what they did with Angle versus Lesnar, right?
Angle versus Lesnar did that. I believe Sasha Bayley did that as well.
Yeah.
Didn't Benoit and Angle have one too, I thought?
Well, we can't talk about that one though.
Oh, right.
Shame on you. They don't see it on this show.
Oh.
Benoit and Angle, I think did that too. I think Angle got himself disqualified the first fall and then just beat the holy dog out of Benoit for a little while.
Right.
So it is a consistent, often used tactic. So I would be surprised if it either went like that or if it went no falls until the very, very end.
Right.
Well, right, because that actually hasn't happened since Brett and Shawn, right? And that was in 1996.
Yeah. We're in
That
overtime.
concept is a little old.
We're in overtime, McMahon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see that.
So maybe.
Yeah. You know what? I'll go ahead and say that there'll be no falls. Although I do think it's more exciting when they have the falls. But yeah, I think that would be a really cool thing to do. And they may just do that to make both women look really strong. Neither one is able to beat the other one. So I'll go ahead and say that. And I think Sasha's going to retain here. But would not shock me if Charlotte wins again. I mean, nothing would at this point, like I said.
No, you know what? I wanted so bad for the women's division because you know me. I've been a champion of women's wrestling for a very long time. I had my own thing going for a while with the ladies wrestling, but the way it's been booked, basically completely just two women the last whatever it's been 6 months to a year. They need to have fresh meat going on both sides of the coin. They've got Alexa on SmackDown now, being the SmackDown Women's Champion. They need to have somebody come in and really challenge Sasha and Charlotte besides Sasha and Charlotte.
Exactly. So this should be the end of the feud. Hopefully this is the end. Let Sasha win and then move on.
Well, Corey Graves mentioned on Raw there is no rematch clause between the two of them on this one. So this is it.
Right. Yeah, right. Just like Miz and Dolph Ziggler's the last match that they're going to have.
Yeah, they have more last matches than Bette Midler had farewell tours, so.
Oh, savage. That was savage right there. Savage.
Yeah.
Savage and vicious. All right, now we have our two main event matches. So, although really, I think you could say Sasha and Charlotte's a main event match. That match might go on last. I mean, do you guys think that match might end up going last? What about you, David? What do you think?
I don't think so, not on this one. But, you know, I still think they should do a women's match in the main event in a non-gimmick pay-per-view in the future and just have a regular match. I would like that. But no, I don't see it happening this time around.
What about you, Jeff? What do you think is going to be the final match?
Probably the Universal Championship. I mean, you've got the Universal Champion versus the United States Champion. You've got Roman Reigns in that match, which is Vince's golden boy right now. So I think they're going to have Owens and Reigns end the show.
All right.
And just ask CM Punk. There's no such thing as a semi-main. If you're the last match, you're the main event, according to CM Punk.
Well, I think that's a very valid point.
I will say that if they have Charlotte and Sasha go on second to last before Owens and Reigns, the crowd might crap on Owens and Reigns. So it'll probably be a game time decision.
Yeah.
There'll be a cool-off match in between there somewhere.
Well, I mean, looking at the structure of this card, you know, next up we'll talk about Seth Rollins versus Jericho. I mean, it would not surprise me if Rollins and Jericho opens the pay-per-view so they can kick it off with a hot match to get the show off to a strong start. And then you do Sasha and Charlotte towards the end, and then you have either Zayn versus Strowman or probably the Cruiserweight match they'll throw in as like the bathroom break match before Owens and Reigns. That's what I'm thinking at this point.
Which is such a disappointment when you really think about what you just said.
I know, right? Because the women are getting more of the focus. It's like the Cruiserweights are basically the bathroom break matches now.
I don't mind the fact the women are getting more focused, trust me, but the fact that what was the hottest division of the summer is now the bathroom break match on the pay-per-view. Yeah. It's just ridiculous.
No kidding. That's disappointing.
Yeah, well,
within 6 months, complete cool off.
Yeah, flatlined.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to be the bathroom break match.
Well, I'm working that night, so we'll see if I get to see the whole show in the first place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I vote for Roman Reigns as the bathroom break match, but that's just me. But
I agree with that. I'll be taking a good, long, healthy bathroom break during that match.
You'll be taking a Meacham during that.
I'll be taking. No, we don't call it a Meacham. We call it who was it? We call it a Corey Perry, the hockey player I don't like.
Okay. Did I just make the list again?
No, the list is closed for right now. I had to go a week last week at Disneyland, so for right now the list is still closed.
Okay. Yeah, you need to take a little break from the list until you actually start doing the talk wrestlings again, and people can send in the questions that can make the list.
That's right. Well, we'll see. I've got my schedule set now when I'm free from work and when I'm not. So we may start getting some Talk Wrestling tapings in here pretty soon.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we have Rollins and Jericho singles match. Should be a really fun match. Jericho has been on fire this year.
Oh, yeah.
As far as who wins this match, I mean, this one is really tough for me. I think it could go either way. I think Rollins will win just because it's not really necessary for Jericho to win at this point. I could see Rollins winning, and I think you need to build up Rollins towards Triple H. I mean, who knows? Maybe Triple H will show up. I don't think he will. I think if Triple H shows up, it'll be after the holiday season, once we get into the Royal Rumble build-up in January. I think that's when we'll see Triple H. So I think Rollins will win here. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I think Rollins will win too because, I mean, although I consider Jericho almost an MVP-like season for what he's done. I mean, he's my wild card because he's really been good this year. But if you notice, it's been the formula that he's put over the younger guys since he's been back.
Right,
he's put over multiple guys. So yeah, I see him losing here. But something's still going to happen there with Owens and Jericho. Now, I don't know if one's going to interfere in the other's match. I don't know if it's going to happen in this match necessarily, but I do see that eventually happen. But yes, I do see Seth Rollins winning. But don't be surprised if it was the opening match and maybe possibly the best match of the night too.
Yeah. What do you think, Jeff?
Gotta agree. This is one of those where this is going to be like the Shawn Michaels opening match. When Shawn was first really coming to his own, they were putting him on first to kind of get the crowd going, and Shawn would walk to the back and go, follow that. That's going to happen with this match. Rollins and Jericho both had the potential to have a match they can walk to the back and go, next.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think it'll be awesome. I think Rollins, like you said, David, Jericho doesn't need the big wins at this point. He was the man. He's been the man this year. He's been undisputed champion before. He's won every championship there is to win, except the U.S. championship, obviously. But I think Rollins needs to keep his momentum going into Royal Rumble season where he faces Kevin Owens, and then WrestleMania where he faces Triple H.
Well, there you have
Agreed.
it. All right, so we're all going with Seth to win this one. And finally, we have the Universal Championship match. He's not a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's the guy. He's the U.S. champion. He hasn't defended the title in over a month, over the 30-day period. But who cares? It's Roman Reigns. It's Roman Reigns, the guy.
No, he did. No, he did because he faced Jericho for the championship a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
Jeff.
That was a title match, wasn't it? That's right.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Well, there you go, Jeff. So it is the guy that looks like the bassist from Metallica, Roman Reigns, taking on Kevin Owens, challenging Kevin Owens for the Universal Championship. Now, I've said this many times, just like I said, when it's hard to bet against John Cena, it's hard to bet against Roman Reigns. However, at the end of Raw, we saw Roman Reigns standing tall to close the show, holding up both titles. And, usually when that happens, the guy who's standing tall at the go-home show ends up losing on the pay-per-view. So I think somehow Kevin Owens is going to retain the title here. Now, it's not going to be a clean finish. Roman Reigns does not lose clean. Kevin Owens, unless it's Finn Balor. I think that was the only time. So unless Roman Reigns is getting suspended again, I don't see that happening. Kevin Owens, I think, will somehow, through some sort of shenanigans, as usual, will retain the title. Will Jericho interfere? Maybe. I could see that possibly happening. What do you think, David?
Yeah, I'm going with Owens to win. I called it. I said if you're going to make Owens a champion, you got to go with him long term. You got to have him have the belt through the Royal Rumble, possibly WrestleMania. Roman Reigns, this is just sort of a way to appease Vince, maybe. Just to say, this is, he's in the main event. He's still relevant. He's Roman Reigns. Maybe it's a way to elevate the U.S. title. I don't know. I don't even think he should be in the picture. But if I'm booking Kevin Owens from here on out, after this is all over with, okay, he needs to turn on Jericho and he needs to become a badass heel, almost like a Brock Lesnar type, because enough of this just getting by and winning by interference, because it's not making it legit enough. He needs to they need to change him up and be like, all right, I'm running through everybody on this roster now. And then whoever faces him at WrestleMania, it's going to be a lot more legit. Let him be the prize fighter instead of the coward,
Yeah,
but
they could do Owens versus Finn Balor at WrestleMania.
Well, exactly, but you got to change it up a little bit. I mean, once Jericho gets out of the picture, Owens needs to become a lot more dominant and win a lot more, cleanly, if you will.
Yeah. What do you think, Jeff?
That's just my opinion.
And I'm going to completely disagree with your opinion, David. I think that Owens is one of those champions where Kevin Steen, when he was still Kevin Steen, Aaron knows this better than almost anybody because we followed Kevin all throughout PWG and through his Ring of Honor career. The swarmier, the nastier, the trickier he got, the better he got. So I think for us to watch Kevin Owens and expect him to be a badass, dominant heel is not the way to go with Kevin Owens. I think Kevin Owens needs to be, not so much cowardly, but he needs to do whatever it takes to win. He needs to find whatever means he can, whether it be Jericho, whether it be some sort of other shenanigans. I think Owens being a dominant Brock Lesnar type is not what Owens is destined for. And I do like what you said about WrestleMania, Aaron. I think that that's a great projection to have Owens going toward Finn Balor at WrestleMania, where that way Owens retains at the Royal Rumble against Seth Rollins thanks to Triple H.
Right.
And then we get to WrestleMania and Owens like, I beat everybody, and Finn Balor comes up and goes, well, yeah, but that's my title.
Okay, but
I never really lost it.
The question is here, when do you do Owens versus Jericho? You would think before Jericho leaves to go resume his work with Fozzy that they're going to do that match at some point. They put way too much stock into this storyline to not have that match take place. So the question is, when does that match happen? Because Owens, if he faces Rollins at the Rumble and then he faces Balor at WrestleMania, where would you do Jericho? So how does Jericho fit into all this? That's what I'm really intrigued about. And part of me thinks, an alternative finish for this match is that Jericho comes out and costs Owens the title. So even though Reigns did stand tall on Raw, he still wins the title here thanks to Chris Jericho costing his friends. So now that I think about it, I might change my prediction. I might go with Reigns.
You do see Jericho though; he's right on the edge. The fans are just they want to cheer him. They want a babyface pop. You know what I'm saying? There's something's got to give there. Your question is when exactly when, and you're running out of time between now and the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania. So yeah, who knows? But as to your point, Jeff, you're right. It does go along with the Kevin Steen character, but I guess I was just hoping they would utilize him a little bit better. I'm glad that they didn't go through with the corporate kiss ass, because at first I thought that's what they were going to make Kevin Owens to be.
Right.
But instead, this Jericho Owens thing has actually been the most entertaining thing on Raw. So I commend the both of them for great mic work too. So both of them have done a really good job on Raw.
And plus,
so
if Reigns wins the title, then Reigns would not be in the Royal Rumble match, and I think WWE would like to do that so that way you don't risk the fans crapping on the match with Reigns being involved. Keep him out of the Rumble completely this year, so fans will actually be able to enjoy the Rumble for once.
No, I like your theory, Riff. So I actually I kind of went off on a tangent there, but I like what you said, and I think that we're going to end up seeing Owens and Jericho at some point, like you said, but we got to get Rollins and Hunter together. That's the goal on Raw right now, is to get those two guys in the ring. That'll be at Mania. So I think that what I'd like to see is whoever's Universal Champion face Finn Balor at WrestleMania. So are they saying Finn Balor's going to be ready for the Rumble?
No. Unless he's swerving people. Unless it's a swerve, big work or whatever.
It very well could be. I like what you said about the fans swerving us Sunday and WWE swerving the fans Sunday by the booking on Monday night. I think Reigns does indeed pick up a Universal Championship on Sunday.
Okay, so that's your final prediction?
Yes, and I'll keep it all week.
No changing your predictions when the betting odds are changed. So these are
it down. Aaron, write it down and send me an email.
I don't want you to say, hey, Aaron talked me into picking Reigns. You're going with Reigns.
I'm going with Roman Reigns on Sunday.
All right. We don't need to write it down. We can just rewatch it and see for ourselves what you said.
I'm going to watch myself again. It's better I've enjoyed it the first time.
All right, David, your final pick right now.
Kevin Steen, Kevin Owens.
All right, so you're sticking with Owens. I'm going with Reigns just because I think Jericho is going to be a factor. So that'll do it for our predictions for the WWE Roadblock End of the Line this Sunday live on the WWE Network. Make sure you follow David at _... No, that's Jeff. Jeff is _Jeff Meacham. David is Smart Mark 420. Is that correct?
420.
All right.
That's correct.
All right, that'll do it for this video. Thank you guys for being on. Thank you to everyone out there for watching the video. That'll do it. We will see you guys next time.